Alright, sorry that video is getting a little long. Here's part 2 continued. Anyway, we've created the camera. As you can see, so you can reference back to the old video if you'd like. The settings for the camera are still the same. I didn't change anything. Okay. The one thing I did do, however, is when you're using cameras, it didn't do this in the 2015 version, but the 2016 version, it might just be because I'm uneducated on it. However, I've found that you can no longer use the select camera and create a drawing by just the drawing style manager, which is basically self-creating drawings. I don't know why. Anyway, what you can do is you can create cameras from the drawing processes instead of the drawing styles button. So this is my drawing processes. Now I'm going to go to all cameras, page full D. Okay. Arrangement, not really necessary. Click OK. Now it's found my cameras. Okay. Minimize that. Open the drawing. Say rear, I want 3 inches. Front, I want 14 feet. My objects are showing up as hidden in this plan view because my work plane is set over the concrete and not over the steel. So that's why I set it down 3 inches. My apologies for the upload speed. I'll erase this part. Now the reason I'm updating again is because my green bounding box, the one that I said in the last video that I don't like, sometimes that can interfere with drawing placement. So let's say you have a plan view and you want to put a typical detail on the plan view. Sometimes it can interfere with it and you can have a detail somewhere off, way off paper space that you have to go searching for, and it's a pain in the butt. So that's why I always have it turned off. You can do as you please though. Alright, sometimes when you save a drawing it'll kick you back to your model space, but that's not an issue. Okay, so my green lines are represented beams. Now perhaps the quickest way to take care of this, instead of freaking out, because let's say you have to have this drawing in by a certain time, and no matter how many times you create this drawing, it always does the same view. Let's just say that. So, we all know that happens until you get a good grasp of the program. So the quickest way to do that is fix up your drawing the way you'd like it. Okay. Now we're going to go through and do that same selection sequence I did earlier. I'm going to select the similar details. Right click, Advanced Properties. And now we're going to give these names. And I'm going to enter, and below it, I'm going to give it a model role. So you can see what's columns. They're supposed to say beams, but I drew this in Revit, and I guess the name didn't transfer over. Anyway, there's that. Now, as you can see, my lines are whole. That's just a, it's more of an error in my graphics card than anything, because what they're supposed to be showing is as dotted, as you can see right here. Okay, so you can use your search filter for this function, but I'm not as fancy pants as that, so I'm going to use my selection tool of drag and drop. This is the location of your camera. So, for instance, if you're doing an elevation view, if someone wants to know where they're standing and looking at, the camera will provide a location for you, so that's pretty nifty. In this occasion, though, I'm just going to unselect that. Now, this isn't the best way of doing things, but if you're in a hurry and you want to get this out to the client, instead of having to redraw and re-wait for all the processing, one of the quickest ways to do this is unselect your slab, inches, this will go right there. Should be good now. I have these outer ones still unselected. Anyway, do the same thing, and you'll go to Advanced Properties. Okay, and I'm going to choose Continuous. And let's go ahead and make these by layer. Okay, that red line, your system line in all your drawings, it's usually right there. You can turn that off in this axis drawing. You can also turn it off in a symbol. Representation type on, cut region hatch, by block, revision, that'll turn on if you have any revisions. And there you go, level 2. I guess level 3. Okay. This little guy again. Now let's do level 4. So we'll select level 4. Turn on work plane. Okay. Now the reason I have so many of these single part and multi-part drawings is because I went in there and turned them on myself. You can enable them in either the management tool settings or in your drawing style manager. I think the easiest way to navigate it though myself is with the management advanced manager. Let's see what we did last time. We have created a camera. Alright, right now I want to show you guys this little cool trick. So you see right here your UCS is still down there, but when you have work planes enabled, your UCS can stay at world. This isn't always, but just most times. Your UCS can stay at world, and you can still get the drawing and items placed in the plane that you need them to be placed in. So let's go ahead and create another camera. There's camera filters, I don't want that. This defines detail and directions. Go in generator and create a camera at a node. Since I'm having trouble finding center because I have all my points turned on, let's do midpoint between 2 points. Now that's just an AutoCAD function, so call this 4th floor. Seconds. Now you don't have to do all the guesswork that I'm doing with my X and Y viewport settings. The only reason I'm doing that is because I honestly don't know the top dimension, the the top of my head, so you can check, but I don't really want to. Okay, viewport at the front. And just to see where it was created. Minimize that box. This was created at top of steel for us. How nice. Okay. Drawing processes. Let's do selected camera. Yeah. I forgot, you need to select the camera to do selected cameras. If I recall correctly in the last version, you would be able to choose the option to choose selected cameras, which is the 2015 version, and then you could select the cameras. In this one you cannot, however. Alright, so I've made that plan view. Now we're going to open up, first off I'm going to close that tab, our drawing manager. Okay, so 3's been updated. 4, let's go ahead and open the drawing. So you can see for some reason the camera is still in that. That's what this huge unnecessary bounding box is. So you can select it and turn off the visible color if that doesn't do anything. You can use that, but that doesn't do anything either. It does after you update. But what I do is just select the layer, the drawing, and do that. Go from there. I don't want that. I don't want that. Just bear in mind, every time you create select a filter, in this particular detail types, you will always select this. So if you're planning to delete a bunch of unnecessary information, you should always check that. Yeah, they do. Come on. Properties. Nope. we're going to go back to label dimensions, do the same thing of me turning on my bounding frame. You can move it without the bounding frame, but sometimes it's not as efficient because you'll lose information. When I say that, I mean you'll end up dragging something somewhere and it will not retain its other properties. So such as you have a beam that's been pre-dimensioned and you want to move it. So you try to move it and it has all of a sudden started missing dimensions. So that's why I moved this way. Now, perhaps the best way to do this would have been to use match lines, but for this video, it's not necessary. If you'd like a video of match lines, I can make one for you. You just need to let me know. Alrighty. And like I said last time, we're going to do our beams. So let's select similar, advanced properties, continuous, color, by layer, and there you go. So this whole sequence of making drawings, it's definitely faster. And in my opinion, it's a lot faster. But you absolutely need, and I can't emphasize this enough, to mess around with it and figure it out yourself beforehand. Because it's definitely a learning curve. So